before starting this. Hello. Okay, so today is February the 12th already. Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway through this month. Time is flying and it's going. I'm excited about this month. Lots of things are happening. So we were just talking about the new Scentsy Buddy that's going to be announced tomorrow. So make sure that you stay on top of your news tab because you don't want to miss out like I did on the Unicorn Buddy because that was no fun. We also have, I'm excited about the Reach for the Beach. So who else is super excited about reaching for the beach? Yay, I see hands going up in the air, so exciting. I'm excited about that because I'm praying that it is at the same resort that we've been to for leadership, and that is a lot. That resort is pretty awesome. I love it a lot. And I've always wanted to take my kids there. And so I'm excited, hoping, praying that it is at Moon Palace there in Cancun. So I'm excited. So have you guys, wow, we got lots of people on. Yay. Hi, Tammy. I got hi, Carrie. Hi. Bree. Everybody's moving around on me, so I can't see. Kelly. Yay, this is exciting. I missed out last month because I was in the hospital last time we did the training. I was in the emergency room sick again. So I think that maybe this is starting to be a bad little omen here. Maybe we should not have sick days on these calls. Okay, so anyway, I'm excited about Reach for the Beach. So hey, Nicole. If you haven't already sat down with your director or your sponsor and you want to reach for the beach, I strongly suggest that you make the time to do that and formulate a plan. I will be able to help you guys too, but I think it would be so fun to just all hang out on the beach in January when it's freezing cold, snowing in most places, not really in Texas, but I would love for us all to work really, really hard and try to earn that incentive. It's totally doable. And you know what it does? Is if you're just working your business, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, but if you're just working your business, it really is so in reach. And the big thing is you can't just sell. You have to build your team. But what Scentsy's doing for us in these incentives is they're incentivizing us for just growing our team, for just doing what we passionately love and what we do. So there really, really is no reason that we all can't at least try really hard to reach for the beach. And so on that same note, any new recruits that join this month, they get 1,000 extra points once they just place an order. They don't even have to be certified yet. They'll get more points when they certify. They'll get more points when they reach Sensational Start and Shooting Star. But just for placing a qualifying order in February and joining in February, they get 1,000 points. So let's just use that. And I have to tell you, our team, our group, let me say, I have to get the group and team thing going on, but our group has already grown by 25 this month. That's more than one person every day that has either come back to Scentsy or completely new to Scentsy. That is huge. That is very big. So I'm excited, and I know that a lot of you guys are ready to go and ready to move. Who went to World Tour? Hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, a few, like half of you guys ish, I think, from my show of hands, went to World Tour. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, belief and what we talked about at World Tour here tonight, because I feel like it really is important, especially for those who didn't go, and even for those that did go, to just focus a little bit more on belief. Because when you believe in yourself and you believe that you can do these things, then they come true. It really is that simple. I mean, it's hard work too, but it really is that simple. So those are some incentives that we have going on. Also, we have the $49 join special, which is awesome. And I have to tell you, of the people that have joined my team this month that I've personally sponsored, I have brought up the $49 join special because it's easy to talk about because it's a special, but they have opted for the $99 kit, most of them. There's a couple that have not gone for that have gone for the $49, but most of them still choose the $99 kit, which is awesome, because with the $99 kit, you're getting the enhanced kit. So you're getting all of the spring, summer catalogs and testers, plus all of the fall, winter catalogs and testers, plus everything else in your kit. So it's really a great deal. They're set for their business for the next 7 months. So just because we have the $49 deal doesn't mean everybody's going to go for that deal, but that's just a good way for us to bring up the conversation. Also, I wanted to remind you to, if you haven't already, you can still subscribe to the Warmer and Scent of the Month. It's so cute. The Hello Spring with the Spring Forward fragrance is really, I'm excited to smell that fragrance, and I really like that warmer. So you can still sign up for all of that until the 28th of this month. I guess still the 28th, even though there's only 28 days in the month. The diffuser deal. So let me hear how many people have sold the diffuser deal this month. With you get a diffuser at 10% off. Hey, Laura. A diffuser at 10% off, plus you get 3 free oils. So again, if you had somebody that was on the fence about buying a diffuser, now is the perfect time to give them that good customer service, give them a call, send them a text message, send them a Facebook message, and let them know that we have this deal going on. And you know, I know a lot of people, and that's not really what we're going to talk about, but I know a lot of people, they don't do follow-ups for a lot of reasons. One is maybe you don't have a system of following up. Maybe 2 is you feel like you're bothering them. That was me. I always used to feel like I was bothering people, and I didn't want to follow up because I thought, well, if they want to order, they'll call me and they'll order. But that's not always the case. When we have things like all this exciting stuff that Scentsy gives us every single month, there is no reason we shouldn't be reaching out to our customers every single month. So make sure you're getting out there and you're doing it. Another thing I wanted to make sure you guys knew was the sales kit that is going to be available to purchase on the 19th of February. Did you have a question? Somebody raising their hand? If you wanted, you can interrupt at any time. If you have a question or something to say, please jump in. Oh yes, Stephanie wants me to mute. Sorry. Well.
Not yourself, Kelly. The other ones.
Oh, duh. I muted me. How did I mute me? Oh, wow, you guys. I'm tired. Okay, there. I think I've muted everybody. Okay, so so the spring sales kit. So don't forget to order that. There's 2 available. There's one for just the fragrances, and there's one with some of the new warmers. And that goes toward our PRV, so that way we get them early and we can start showing them to our customers. It's great, and we get PRV on it this month. We talked about the new buddy. That's exciting. Transition. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on transition, but I do want to make sure that everybody here is familiar with transition. Is there anybody, show of hands, that has never been through a transition before? Perfect. This is awesome. Okay, so for those of you who have new team members, please make sure that you help them transition. It could be overwhelming. I remember my first transition, I was overwhelmed because I just didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure what, I sold scents that were retired. It was really bad. So make sure that you help your people transition, help your team members transition. Make sure you get your supplies ordered early so that way you do not miss out on anything in March. And I say this, and the past 2 orders that I've placed, I've forgotten to order my supplies. So I'm speaking to myself too, that we have to remember to order our supplies. Don't forget. And for every set of mini testers you have, make sure you get a set of mini testers transitions as well. Okay, so any questions on just the announcements before I go on? Carrie, when can we buy them? Does anyone know what the new buddy is? So we talked about, I think we think it's a goat, the buddy. And when can you buy what? The supplies are available now, all month. And they're also 10% off. So you definitely.
Yeah, RIDGE.
Okay, I missed that. So I don't know if you were talking.
I'm talking about the edition kit.
Oh, on the 19th. The sales kit is available to order on the 19th of February.
On the 19th. Okay, and we have until like the 26th, right? There's only a few days to order it?
I think you have till the end of the month. I don't remember there was a restriction. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I saw like 2 dates, like 19th or something, so I wasn't sure.
Okay. Possibly. I'll have to go back in and look. You can look on the news tab. It's all the information is there. It's flashing on there about the sales kit. So it'll be on that.
It's from the 19th till the 28th.
Okay, so that's till the end of the month.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Perfect. All right, any other questions on that? All right. So we will go on. So again, for those of you guys that went to World Tour, it was all about belief. And I really loved that because I feel like a lot of times, for whatever reason, we lack that belief in ourselves. When we start off and we're kids, is it our parents? Maybe they just come and they give us all this belief and they encourage us and they give us confidence and they just build us up, right? And we start off with these big dreams. I was telling my kids today as we were watching the Olympics that we were watching the skiing and the moguls. And Bobby's like, "You used to do that, Mom?" And I said, "Yeah, I totally did. I felt like at one point in my life I was invincible. And now I don't think I have a hard time skiing because I'm uptight. I don't know. Kids happened and I'm just definitely not as daring as I used to be. And I still have big dreams, but as kids, we dream of being astronauts and teachers and nurses and doctors and all this stuff. And somehow, some way along the line, something happens. I think real world hits maybe. Things happen and we just get, people bring us down, whether they mean to sometimes or don't mean to. But the world outside just starts to tear us down. Oh, there goes my dogs. I knew it. Sorry. So I have dogs and then I have my kid yelling at the dogs. So it's just going to be wonderful until they stop. But anyway, so at some point in our life, we stop believing in ourselves. And I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but every single person on here is a female. And we are the worst about lacking belief within ourselves. And we tear ourselves down. We are our worst critics when it comes to belief. And I will be the first person to tell any of you that you are amazing and you are awesome. But I'm the last to tell myself that. I don't always believe that, right? Because then there's this fine line too. You don't want to believe you're super awesome and then you get this big ego, and it's a fine line. But somehow we have to figure out how to get back to that point of believing in ourselves. When you want things in life, we have to be able to believe in ourselves before we can achieve anything. And I'm talking about Scentsy, I'm talking about in life, I'm just talking about in general. So a little backstory that the past couple of days, I haven't been feeling well, but my husband is trying to retire really hard. So in August September 1st is his retirement date. It's very scary. And the closer it's coming, it seems so far out of reach, and finances are just not where we had wanted them to be. And so whether or not that happens or not happens, I don't know, but we've spent the past 2 days that he's been off just really building that belief in ourselves that we are going to be okay. So it applies to way more than just Scentsy. I can't stress how important belief is in yourselves and in your marriage and in your kids and in everything. So when you're struggling with belief, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about who you're hanging out with. Who are your friends on Facebook? What does your news feed say? What are you saying on your news feed, right? Even, I hate to say this, but I'm going to be the first to say is maybe your family is tearing you down. So look at who you're spending your time with and who your influences are. Those are your biggest factors. I can promise you it is your biggest factor. That people often surround themselves with people who drain their battery, who are negative, who bring them down, who don't build them up. And then you know what happens? Subconsciously, that's how we start becoming negative. We start, and I'm going to say my mother-in-law, I don't know if it's old age, but every time I'm around her lately, and she didn't always used to be this way, I'm exhausted. She's very negative. I think she watches way too much CNN, and she's just become a very negative person. So I don't like to be around her when it comes to much of anything. Lately she's been getting better, but then I found, I have to look, my mom, hope she doesn't watch this recording, but my mom sometimes gets negative, and my dad, it's just family sometimes can just always be negative. So you have to be careful, because you can't just not be around them, but you have to be able to learn the difference about what to filter through and what to hold in. And again, us women are terrible at holding things in like that. So surround yourself with people who build you up. Associate with those that are good for you. Get away from those people that make you feel like crap and that just continually bring down that belief in you. And the second part of that is not just who you're around, but what are you watching? What are you watching on TV? Again, what are you watching on your news feed? What are you reading? I love to read books a lot. And I like to read for fun too. I love murder mysteries, but I love to read books about direct sales, network marketing, just success in general. I'm currently, because again, financials things, I'm trying to get everything in order to where we're have zero debt whatsoever. So right now I'm reading Dave Ramsey. A Dave Ramsey book. It's called The Money Makeover. That I'm in love with that book. But these are the kinds of books that I'm reading that bring me up, that bring happiness and joy to my life. And when I feel like I'm down or I am in a rut, I pick up one of those books, and it really helps me out. So it's not just by who you're associating with, it's about what you're surrounding yourself with in your life in general. And then take small steps. It doesn't have to be huge. You're not going to just go tomorrow and automatically start believing in yourself, and things are not going to change overnight, because it didn't change. Your belief in yourself did not change overnight. It took years and years and years to bring these feelings to you. So it's going to take a while to get them away. Doing something you said you were going to do makes you feel better about yourself. Holding your commitments, holding your if you say you're going to read every day, then make that commitment to yourself and read every day. Be a daily goal setter. This is huge. Know what you need to accomplish. I'm a big list person. I love lists. I have too many lists. I should just keep them all in one place. And I've started to just keep them in my phone, and that helps. But something about the mental of it, about crossing those things off your list, it helps. You feel so accomplished. So that helps you to build belief that you can do these things, right? And even if you have to, at my world tour, I forget her name, but the one that was, a lot of you remember, the one that was with Jason. She was talking about making a list to write a list to have a list. So she would check it off because she had so many lists. So she needed to make a list to make sure she remembered to make a list, right? So I'm a little bit on the lines of that. Because I just love to cross things off because I need to feel accomplished. So that helps. Change your mindset. This is big. The voices in our head, again, like I talked about, are not always positive. In fact, mostly, a lot of times they're negative, especially when we're trying to do something that we're out of our comfort zone of doing. So think about what you're thinking about. And again, if it's negative, maybe read books. Ask somebody to be your accountability partner to help you become positive. Say positive mantras. Post positive things on your Facebook. Whatever it takes, but change your mindset. And if you're being the one that's pulling yourself down, reverse those thoughts and try focusing on something positive. Think of something that makes you extremely happy, because sometimes in life just brings us down. Everything. Our car breaks down, or we're sick, or a loved one is sick, or somebody passes away, or there's so much in our lives that could go wrong, and it's easy for us to get in this negative spiral of things. So be sure that you're doing something every day that is positive and moving forward in a positive way. And then go for it. This is a big one. I used to be that type of person that was like, oh, I'm going to read all this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to watch this YouTube video. But then I never took action, right? And Stephanie, where'd you go? Everybody moves on my screen. So Stephanie was my huge eye-opener this weekend on our last, we do weekly calls on our team. And she tells me after the call, she texts me and she's like, Kelly, I'm going to be your accountability partner and you're going to do this. And she gave me a task. She's like, I want you to watch this video by the end of the weekend. And you know what? I did. But without that push, I probably would have kept putting it off, like I've been putting it off, because it's, it's something new that I just couldn't get off the ground, right? So sometimes we just need to go for it, and we need somebody to help push us to go for it and to just do it. Life is too short to be afraid, to be scared, to get out of that, to stay in this little bubble of this comfort zone that we live in. It's not good in this comfort zone. You're never going to experience. Again, I'm going to talk about the Olympics, because these people have been practicing day in and day out for years and years and years. This one guy that won gold today from Canada, since when he was 9 years old, he put the Olympic rings up on his ceiling, and every day since he was 9, he's been looking at this. And sometimes that's what it takes, is it takes a big dream, and it takes constant reminders and daily affirmations that you're going to do this, and practice and work, and getting out of your comfort zone, and getting hurt, and all kinds of stuff that happens when you are in that comfort zone. Once you get out, it is so freeing. It is so freeing. So I want you guys to really push hard to get out of those comfort zones. And then it will really help you to find belief in yourself, because when you start finding that belief, the more you do things, the easier it is to find that belief within yourself. So, and again, when you start telling yourself, I'm not good at something, you know what? You're right. And I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And just because you believe something about yourself, it doesn't always make it true. But the more we tell ourselves we can't, the more it starts to become true. They talked about it, but self-fulfilling prophecies. It becomes in our subconscious mind that we can't do this. And so what you believe influences the way you interpret things, is how you're going to behave. So if you think that you can't handle stress, then you're going to be less likely to step out of your comfort zone, because you don't want to feel that stress, and you never practice doing anything scary. And now I have a dog on my lap. So, and if you believe that you're socially awkward, or you're not good at making friends, and you're not outgoing, then you know what happens? That's how you are. You stay in that bubble. You're not outgoing. You don't try. You don't put yourself in situations that you want to try. The fewer friends you make, and you just don't make those social connections. So if you believe that you're not good at parties, or you're not good at recruiting people to your team, then guess what? You're not going to be. So you have to start by telling yourself, I can be good at this, and I have the skills to learn it. It's called a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, is being able to learn and take action and do the things that are scary for you. All right. So again, I told you it's not going to happen just overnight, because all this negative belief did not just happen overnight. So if you try it a few times and you're still scared, you still get these butterflies, or you try to ask people to join your team and they still turn you down and you stop, is that going to be good for you? Are you going to get where you need to go? No, you have to be consistent. You have to learn to accept that it's not personal. That once you get over that, and trust me, I still take it personal. When you get over that, then it makes it so much better and you're able to accomplish so much more in your life. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to ask for some questions or input or anything you have before I go on to my next thing about conversations and how to have conversations out in public. So does anyone have anything that they want to add or share or questions? All right. Don't forget you're muted. So if you want to say something, you can unmute. Okay. So I feel that I'm going to put it all out there. There was a period where I wasn't recruiting and I felt like, I don't know, I thought I was trying everything and I just wasn't getting anywhere. But then when I look back and I think about all that stuff that I just talked about, I realized it was me. It was me that was causing it to be, I wasn't building my team. And I said I was doing everything I needed to be able to build my team, and it just wasn't happening. So really what it boiled down to is I stopped talking about Scentsy as much as I used to. When I first joined, I was talking to everybody about Scentsy. My conversation starter was, have you heard of Scentsy? Because back then, not a lot of people had heard of Scentsy. So it was an easy in to open the door of conversation. Then as more and more people started hearing about Scentsy, I started talking about it less and less. I'd wear a Scentsy shirt. I'd wear a jacket. I'd wear a button. My purse was Scentsy. I mean, I was branded. My car had Scentsy. I was branded, but I wasn't opening my mouth and conversating like I used to. And it made a really big difference in my business. And I guess I was not that I was in denial. I thought I talked about it enough, but I clearly, now that I'm back to talking about it again, I clearly realize the problem lied with me. But I did not believe that. I just thought that, you know what, people weren't joining Scentsy like they used to. That's not true. So if the same goes for you with parties, with people joining your team, if you are struggling, really dig deep and see, is it you? Is it that you're not having enough conversations? Are you not following up enough? There's plenty of people out there for us to be able to build our teams, to be able to meet new people, to party with. There's a lot of people out there. Lots of people are doing it. So I know it can be done. Okay. Let me give you an example. I'm always prepared. In my purse, I have my little product lists, and I fold them so I have a little pocket in them, and it has my card and a little sample. Okay, so this is my conversation starter now. I have these in my purse. I also have some join brochures so that if the opportunity arises, I can talk to them about joining. But having that is step one. I went to Las Vegas a few weeks ago with my son for his hockey tournament. It was, I guess, 3 weeks ago. And I made a point to myself that I was going to take a bunch of brochures and I wasn't going to come back until they were all handed out. And I took a lot of brochures. I was setting a big goal for myself. So I went. Every day that I left the hotel, I would make sure to have enough in my purse. And, you know, Las Vegas is flocking with people from all over the world. So it really was easy to start up a conversation. I didn't go up and say, you know, hey, my name is Kelly. Here's a product list. Have you ever heard of Scentsy? Absolutely not. That's not what I did. But I started conversations with just people. My kids got this henna tattoo. So I started talking to the lady from the henna tattoo. She was really talented. She was doing all this freehand, and I gave her a compliment. I said, wow, I'm pretty impressed that you do this. Do you have an art background? You know, what is your story? So she just started talking to me when she was doing this tattoo. And sorry, you guys, my dogs. Hang on one second. Sorry, my dogs, gotta love them. So anyway, so we just started talking. So at the end of it, I talked to her. I told her I would love to talk to her a little bit more about what I do, and I gave her some information. Then there was another lady at the jewelry store, and she just had this extremely open, friendly personality. So I struck up a conversation with her. At no point in time did I have Scentsy in my mind. I was really enjoying a conversation. I was getting to know her. And I feel like if we stop putting so much pressure on, I need to build my team, and just start building relationships with people, then it becomes less stressful. It becomes more natural. It becomes fun. I had a great time, and I have to tell you, I came home from Las Vegas with absolutely no brochures left. The last day, I was wanting to give someone some brochure, and I didn't have any left. That's how many conversations I had. Now, this lady that I was talking to you from the jewelry store, she hasn't joined my team yet, but I'm pretty confident as we keep talking and I continually build that relationship with her, that she will join in the right time. And she was very excited about the opportunity. So again, if we change our mindset from feeling like we're bothering people to feeling like we can bless their lives, to just really, I genuinely talked to her about it because she had such a cute personality. I wanted her on my team. I love people that have good personalities. And a lot of times in customer service these days, it's lacking. I don't see that as much as I used to. So when I find somebody like that, you better bet I want them on my team. So I'm asking them. So there's a lot of ways that we can go about, and we can have these conversations and make them more natural and just fit it in. And sometimes Scentsy will never, ever fit into that conversation. And that is okay. But the key is you have to follow up, right? So how can we follow up and not have this awkward conversation of like, can I have your phone number? Because sometimes that's kind of awkward and we don't really want to have to ask that. So there's several ways you can do it. One is like with this one lady that was there at the jewelry store. I talked to her and I said, hey, you know what? I know you're working, and there was another customer that was coming up, and I said, I don't want to take any more of your time. We'd already spent 15 minutes together. And I said, I really don't want to take any more of your time. How about if I give you this information and you give me your number and I'll message you when you get off work? And she was excited, and she gave me her phone number, and that's how we started talking. That doesn't always happen. And sometimes that's not natural. So something else I've started doing is I tell people, you know what, I would love to give you my information so that we can talk more about it. And they say, oh yeah, that would be great. I'd love to talk to you again about this. So I said, okay, well, I'm going green with my business. And I took a picture of my business card. And I said, I'm going green with my business. Let me text you my card. So now what I've done is they have my card, and I've gotten their phone number because I've texted them my information. So then again, I can follow up with them at that time, right? Also, with social media too nowadays, it's easy for people to just friend you on Facebook, or you friend them on Facebook, or have them like your business page or whatever. There's a lot of ways that we can get people's contact information, but the key is you have to get their contact information. The same said trip, I was ready. I was done. Las Vegas, you can only be in Las Vegas for so many days. So I was ready to get out of there. And my son was trying to find a souvenir for his sister. And we were going to 1,000 trillion stores because he had to find that perfect souvenir. So the last store we went into, I was wearing my Rhinos hockey shirt because that's their hockey team. And this girl goes, oh, where are you from? And I said, Texas. And she says, oh, where in Texas? And I said, El Paso. And she says, oh, my family's from El Paso. And I said, really? So we started talking about it. And just because she brought the conversation up simply because of my shirt. So as the conversation was going on, in a 5-minute span, I learned that she had a young kid at home. She hates working at the casino. She drives 45 minutes there and back. And the Scentsy opportunity would be perfect for her. So I gave her the last brochure that I had in my purse, and actually didn't have a joint brochure. I just gave her a product list with my business card, and I didn't get her phone number. I was done. I was ready to get out of there. It's excuses. That's all it was, is I'm making an excuse for myself of why I didn't get her contact information. She was so excited. She was going to call me in 2 days. She said, I'll give you a day to get home. I'll give you a call a couple of days. So she never called. And you know what? That was all my fault, because if I would have gotten her information, I could have followed up with her, and I'm pretty sure she would have joined my team. But she didn't call. She either lost the paper, it was out of sight, out of mind, whatever happened, she never called. So you see how getting people's information is so valuable. You can't not get their information, because then we miss out, right? So make conversations with people. Give them a compliment. That's the easiest way to make a conversation, but it has to be genuine. You can't just be like, oh, I like your gray pajama top that you're wearing, Kelly. That doesn't cut it, right? Because I'll be like, really? This old thing? You have something else in mind, you know? Strike up conversations with people online. You can join a chat group, or not a chat group, any of these Facebook groups. And I am not a huge fan of social media. I would much rather sit with you and talk one-on-one. I talk on the phone. I don't know. I'm not a good social media person. So I feel like I don't see how these people can build relationships online. But you can, and I've done it. And somebody who's so closed-minded toward it, I've done it. So you join something that you are excited about or that you're passionate about. So 2 groups that I've joined in the last year is a hockey group, because we eat, sleep, and everything is hockey in this house. And so I've joined another group, and I realized that every other hockey mom is just as crazy, and that we have a lot in common. And so it's easy to conversate with people. And in these groups, you're not allowed to talk about Scentsy 90% of the time, but that's okay. You don't want to plaster Scentsy all over the place. You want to befriend these people. You want to get to know people that you have common interests with. And then they will eventually see on your Facebook that you sell Scentsy. Or as you're talking in a private conversation, then if the time comes, you can talk to them about Scentsy. But it doesn't have to be plastering flyers all over Facebook. It just has to come naturally. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, right? Another group I recently joined is a Cricut group, like a crafting group, because I'm not crafty, but I do love our Cricut. And so I get a lot of ideas, and I meet a lot of people in those groups. Another one is Instapot, but there's a million people in the Instapot one, and I get a little overwhelmed. So I tend to stay away from the Instapot groups, because that's a little much on the Instapots. So those are my 3 groups that I've recently joined that I really enjoy online. Steph, I don't know if you're in a spot to talk, but I'd love for you to share your story about your moms, if you're up to it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll try not to get all emotional and weepy like I did the other day.
Okay.
So when I was pregnant with my daughter, I found just a forum on the internet for what to do when you're expecting. And the moms ended up creating a Facebook group, and this is where I got emotional the other day. We have been through everything. We've gone through from finding out we were pregnant to 6 years later, we're still all really great friends. I mean, we went through the 3 a.m. feedings, and a couple of the moms had preemies, and they lost their babies early, and we went through that, and we became a family. And I've never met a single one of them in person, but I feel, you were talking about that closeness you can feel with somebody that you've never met. It's weird that you can feel that close to a group of people that you've never met. Mm-hmm. And when we were pregnant, we used to talk about being the unicorn mom. We weren't going to be the perfect mom. We weren't going to be that happy, shiny mom. We were all going to be the real moms that cussed and swore and drank. And
that's for sure.
Stop.
That lasted 5 minutes.
Weren't afraid to tell our kids no. And I never post about Scentsy on that group. Well, when Calypso came out, that was the first place I thought of. And I had actually posted on there and said, I don't usually do this, guys, but it's perfect because it's a unicorn. But that's a group that I've joined and gotten really close to them.
So it's things like that that really, I mean, you really do. It's weird. I used to feel the same way. I just don't see how you could build relationships online, but you really can. So does anyone else have anything they want to share as or questions, or if you maybe feel like you don't know how to get out or just stuck? I mean, let's talk and let's try to help you out. And you're probably muted, so you'll have to unmute yourself. Don't be shy. Thank you, Thea. Nobody wants to talk today? All right. I was thinking that, what are some things, like, I just want you to feel comfortable when you go anywhere. Make Scentsy part of your daily life. It doesn't have to be an obligation, but when you learn to take Scentsy with you, you are going to grow a lot faster and you're going to meet a lot more people. So if you're the shy type, challenge yourself to get out there, and every time you leave, challenge yourself to talk to somebody new. And start small. Don't challenge yourself to talk to 5 people, just one person every time you get out. And then once you start talking to one consistently, then make it 2, then make it 3, and make it natural. These are seeds you're planting. I've used this analogy for years in our business, but you know what? When you plant a garden and you go plant a seed, you walk away, it's probably not going to grow. You've got to nurture it. You got to water it. You got to fertilize it. You got to give it sunlight. Sometimes it doesn't need sunlight. You got to figure out it needs shade. Sometimes it needs less shade, half and half. So you got to figure out what that seed needs. And it's the same thing with building a team. All of us can do it, whether you joined yesterday or you joined 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. We all have the capability to do it. And it comes faster than others. And that's okay, because we can't compare ourselves to others. We have to be our own unique selves. And everybody grows, and everybody's garden grows at a different rate. So, but it's not going to grow unless you keep planting more seeds. One seed isn't really going to cut it. You typically in a garden plant multiple seeds so that you can have some of them take. And some will never, ever take, and that's okay. But when you plant one and you give up because it didn't grow, then chances are you're probably never going to have a garden. So I want you to think about it, and I want you to first build the belief that you have, that you've lost maybe in yourself. And I'm not saying that all of us don't have a belief, but I'm saying it's probably 90% of us have had lack of confidence at some point in time. And so I want you to really think about that and make steps in the right direction consistently. So that is all I have. If you guys don't have any other questions or anything, I want to take a picture. That I do know, even though I look all so lovely. Hold on. Have to make my screen bigger. All right. So everybody has to smile. And hold on. Got to get everybody in there. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay. All right. So if you guys have nothing else, then we will chat again soon. So next month, it's always the second Monday of every month. So I'll post reminders, and your directors will post reminders. And next month, we'll have a guest speaker. So you'll definitely want to be on. And I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a good night. Oh, hold on, Kat. You're saying, should we talk to someone daily about Scentsy? Yes. Okay. So if you have to go, but Kat asked a question that I just saw. Yes, you try to make a point to talk to somebody every day about Scentsy. If it doesn't come up in a conversation, then it doesn't come up in a conversation. But try to talk to somebody new every day. If you go to a doctor's office, talk to them at the doctor's office. One thing that they did say, and it's kind of too far over there, but one of the really good things that I loved about World Tour was we had a lot of hands-on, do this, you can do this kind of stuff. So they have these cool little displays now that, here, I'll try to grab mine. Look, check it out. So they have these cool little displays that you can put a warmer, maybe put a buddy, you can put just different things so that makes it look nice. It's cardboard, it's nice and lightweight. But when you go to the doctor's office, because you know you're there for hours anyway, waiting and waiting, so take that with you. Take your testers with you. Leave them there with the receptionist. Leave them there. Talk to people in the lobby. Open them up. It's a conversation starter. So do things like that are a little scary, right? Because it's not always natural to just have testers in a doctor's office, but I can promise you it'll make the time pass by faster, and it helps to build your customer base. It helps to meet new people. So yes, I hope that answered your question, Kat. I kind of rambled, but there you are. I see you over there in the corner laughing at me. So anyway, that's any other questions? All right. Very well. Well, you guys have a good night, and we will chat with you guys soon. Bye.